Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm MK.
I'm Courtney.
And Courtney, how are you?
I don't know, I've lost my mind. I it feels like it's been a long day, but it hasn't. I slept a little late today. Um, I forgot what I was gonna talk about. Oh, I was gonna tell you about the new games I'm playing. My sister bought me this game Cabernet for Christmas. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I know.
Um, but it's a story-based game and you play as a freshly become vampire. And you make all these like life choices along the way to see if you like have more humanity or more like non-humanity or whatever.
Yeah.
And like if you get lost to becoming a vampire. I did survive until the end of the game, which it seems is not the case, but I did make some choices that were really depressing, that
Oh.
I didn't know caused other things. But it's really fun. You like because you like have left your whole family, you work as a doctor, and obviously you're a vampire, so you're learning how to be a vampire and like I killed three people that I didn't mean to kill, which
Ah.
was really upsetting. But it's a really quick game. Like I beat it in like a couple of weeks. My sister texted me something, and I texted her like a couple days after Christmas. I was like, I started Cabernet, and she was like, oh nice. And like 2 weeks later, I texted her. I was like, I beat Cabernet. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, it's over now. Um,
Yeah, see, that's the problem
and
though. That's the problem with new games. Dan got Harry Potter Lego for the PlayStation, so that there was
I
something
love
that we
Harry
could
Potter
actually
Lego.
play together. And like, so he got
Yeah,
it for me for Christmas. And I think before we went back to, and granted, part of it was because we were both sick over Christmas break, so we did a lot of nothing but laying there.
yeah.
Oh, I just accidentally raised my hand. That's weird.
I
Um,
see that. That's okay.
but I think before we went back to work, we had already beaten all of year one to four. Like not
Those
just
are really quick games
but
though.
like
Like,
not just beaten, like gone back and unlocked every character,
yeah.
every gold brick, everything. We beat the entire game 100%. And even went back and got all the weird PlayStation trophies that you have to do weird things to do.
Yeah. I did that on a what I get. I think I had it on DS maybe, but I've also got it on my Switch. But I think I beat it on DS, and it was like it was pretty. It was like the way they do it is like here's yours 1 through 4, here's yours 5 through 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I did that too. It's a really quick game, but it's really
Yeah.
fun. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I wanted to play more. I think I played the Marvel Legos on Jamie's
Mm.
system. I think me and Caitlin played it on there, and I really liked it. But
Yeah.
people talk a lot of crap about the Lego games, but I really enjoy them.
I think the
Um,
only thing I negative I can say about the Lego games is that are they have really bad depth perception, like the way the cameras
mm,
work and angles and stuff. So like when you have to like jump on things and like get up to levels,
yeah.
it can be very difficult because they're just not designed to know where you're going.
See, I think that that is also better on like the handheld games. Like when I played on DS and Switch, I think it's better than when I
Uh,
played like on Xbox. And so I'm wondering if it's the same for like PlayStation too.
yeah, maybe.
Um, but yeah, that's definitely a factor.
Because I've only ever played it on the Wii and like
Mm,
the old Wii
yeah.
and the PlayStation. So like in both of those, the camera is
Oh
terrible.
my gosh. I saw something the other day and somebody was doing a classic game night and they were gonna pull out the classic Wii and I was like, how old am I? I'm like, that is like I remember when the Wii came out. That's like I feel like us saying like we're gonna go play Nintendo 64. Like
Yeah.
that's classic.
I
But I
told
feel like
Dan
the Wii didn't make it there yet. It
No,
obviously has.
obviously has, and that's weird. I told Dan that the next game I want to buy for because my dad got us a Switch 2 for Christmas.
Ooh, that's
M-
exciting.
My dad did go a little bit crazy, and he got Gabby and Cullen, Bree and Joffer, George and Renee, and me and Dan all our own Switch 2s so that we could all play Mario Kart together.
That's amazing, and I'm so jealous.
Um,
I'm so jealous.
But so we've also been playing a lot of Mario Kart. But I told him the next game I want, speaking of classics, was I want they have it's I forgot what it's called, but it's like the Super Mario Classic Pack or whatever, and it has
Hmm.
the Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy, and I'm like, that's what I want.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's
Then
what
those are really like because they have like a Nintendo, I don't know what they call it, the internet package or whatever. They
yeah.
have like the like classic like Donkey Kong games and Super Mario games and stuff. And they play really well on the Switch, like even on Switch 1. I know Switch 2's had some like bugs recently with like it plays things as laggy in some of the older games.
Mm.
But I'm sure that they'll have
But what
updates every
this
so
is like an
often.
actual disc that is reformatted, like those three games, but reformatted for the
Yeah.
Switch, so it would be different. But yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I was thinking like because the way like this is just like an online portable
Yeah, the
one.
online ones would be a little
Um,
different than the ones that you could actually
yeah.
buy the new
Hmm.
software. Yeah.
Yeah. I keep wanting to buy the new Pokemon game. I haven't beat the last two I bought.
No, yeah, you're not there
Still
yet.
feel like I need to buy it. But it's $60, so I'm not. But
Yeah.
Animal Crossing just got an update, finally. And so I got back on Animal Crossing this week. They built a hotel. And then Dreamlight Valley just got an update within the past couple of weeks. And so I'm
Wow.
on Dreamlight Valley. And I finally started Stardew Valley. And I don't hate it. I
Mm.
thought I hated it, but I tried it on Xbox when it was on Game Pass. And I was like, this ain't it. I'm not like really into it. But then it was on sale, maybe for less than $10 or right around $10 for Switch. And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna
Mm.
play this is it. So I did download it. And that's what I've been playing this week, and I really like it. It's a little bit slower moving than I would like, I think.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so I've been trying to get back into my gaming systems. Um, so I'm doing my reading, my gaming, and I got the AMC Movie Pass so that I can make myself go to the movies again because I love the movies and I hadn't been going since I moved back. But we have a dine-in AMC theater on
Mm.
Betts.
Okay.
And so they have like I went and saw The Housemaid, which was really. Did you ever read those
I
books?
have not read them yet. No.
It was I don't like Sydney Sweeney. It's just like from a standpoint, I just don't like her. But I really liked the movie. I thought it was really well done.
Okay.
And I love Amanda Seyfried, so or I don't know how to say her last
Yeah.
name. Knows I'm out. But yeah, so that's been my life lately with my gaming and whatnot that I'm trying to get back into. How are you?
I am okay. Sorry, I'm just also realizing I think oh no, okay. Sorry. No, I'm good. I've been like it's been weird. Like I have just between so I got really sick right after Christmas and unfortunately when
Mm-hmm.
you're pregnant you can't take cold medicine.
Yup.
So I like it took me like 2 weeks to like get back to feeling normal. Um, but then also really what is normal because I'm just always tired. Um,
Right.
and like I said on last Sunday's episode, I've just been like dealing with like a lot of apathy. Like, and I know it's just like hormones and whatnot, but I'm like, I don't care about anything anymore. And when I do, I just cry.
Right. Like you either have all of the feelings or none.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And like, and so it's been like really frustrating recently just because like I'm like, I can't like I go to work and I teach these kids. I'm like in the moment, I'm fine and I like love my kids, but like then I go to like do lesson plans or grading and I realize I don't give a fuck. And
You
and I'm
gotta do
like,
both.
yeah, like I'm like, I don't care about it. But I'm like, no, but like you have to. Um and like I tried to get back into reading. I did finish two books so far this year. Um, both of them were things I had basically already finished last year, though, so I don't really feel like it counts. I haven't started any new books this year.
Yeah.
Um, and I have been doing a lot of like playing video games with Dan, but it's just we both just like turn our brains off and sit there, and it's like so I don't know. I'm just here. I exist. It's kind of all I got recently. I eat Taco Bell like once a week.
I've
Um,
been really craving Taco Bell lately and I haven't had it in a couple months.
yeah, nope. It's just rough. Just rough, man. And part of it is, when you already have clinical depression and you live somewhere where the sun doesn't shine for like half the year, winter is rough. And then add pregnancy hormones on top of it. I'm just like,
Mhm.
fucking done. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
I don't get to be done yet.
No, no, that's not how it works.
No, unfortunately, it is not. And like we had a snow day on Thursday, and then Friday was the last day of the semester. So like half the kids didn't come because if you had a snow day on Thursday, why would you bother coming on Friday?
Sure, of course.
And then we had a 3-day weekend, and then we had a snow day today. So I'm like, and I'm going into work late tomorrow. So I don't, do I have to go to work?
Mm-mm. You don't.
That's where I'm at. So since I clearly have nothing good in my life, can you give me a quote to just give
Absolutely.
spark some joy or whatever Marie Kondo fucking said?
Absolutely. Strength. Strength is what we gain from the madness we survive.
Yeah, but like, does it always have to be so mad?
I, you're asking the wrong person.
Ugh, this world.
Oh, everything's a mess.
Um, but things that are actually also kind of a mess, but in the best way.
But in the best way, yeah.
Today we're talking about Stargate SG-1, season 8, episode 15, Citizen Joe. Um, it is rated 7.6 stars. Um, and it came out on February 18th, 2005. Our same song and book are the top there. But there is a new top movie, but just for this Friday. Don't worry, it'll immediately go back to Hitch tomorrow. But the movie must have premiered today, so it got a big bump, and that was Constantine.
I still haven't seen that.
I have. It's okay. I mean, I would watch Keanu Reeves read a phone book, so like I'm not really gonna
Sure.
complain. Except for that's not true because I watched the first John Wick and then had no desire to watch the rest of them. So apparently
I haven't watched that either.
I just don't like action movies.
I was just about to say you don't like action movies, though.
Yeah. The other night we had dinner at Dan's mom's house and there were they were giving me somehow I because I they watch the same movies all the time and there's like all the movies that they watch are things I haven't seen. They
Mhm.
made it becomes my decision of what movie we're watching every time we're over there. And they gave me the choice of the second Bourne movie because I watched the first one with them.
Right.
The first Mission Impossible movie or the third Knives Out movie. Want to take a
The third
wild
Knives Out.
want to take a wild guess? I just looked at Dan and I go, you know the answer to that question, right? And he was like, yeah, okay. So we watched Knives Out.
Yeah, I watched that. I didn't like it as much as I liked the first two. Like,
Is
it was
that
fine, but I didn't like it as much as I liked the first two. I liked it well enough. It just, everybody's like, this is the best one. This is the best they've
see
ever done. And I was like, eh.
see, I did. I loved it. I thought it was
I mean, I really liked
so
it, but
good.
like,
I was like I was like geeking out over like the cinematography and the music and the lighting and the way
oh, the
that they like
cinematography was
it was
incredible. It was made better
incredible.
than the first two.
Oh man. I mean, the plot was good. Um, I thought it was interesting. It definitely, in terms of the plot and the mystery itself, yeah, it probably was the weaker of the
Mhm.
three, but in terms of an
Mhm.
actual film, it was definitely the best film of the three.
It was the best made for sure. Like, they definitely spent more money on this one.
Oh my God. There was not no spoilers, but there is a scene where for the people who have not maybe yet watched it yet, but there's a scene where Benoit Blanc is talking to the main character of the movie and they're in a church and they're talking about their feelings about God and as Benoit's talking all of the light like leaves the church and then when Father Judd starts talking about why he believes in God and like what God means to him like the stained glass window just like opens and it just gets brighter and brighter and brighter as he talks about it till like the end you just like feel God like staring at you pouring love
Yeah.
it was I literally was like that was the most beautiful shot scene I've ever watched so I
Yeah.
loved but I'm also like a weirdo
No, I mean, everybody was really, really hype about it. And like,
yeah
I liked it, but I liked that, like, I missed the cheesy elements, I guess, from the other ones. Like, this one was a little more serious and it
this
had a
one
little
it
more,
was
like,
definitely a little bit more
you
serious
know, And I like that like
And
quirky,
I will say, I
cheesy
know I love
element.
the quirky, cheesy elements. I will say I appreciated that this one was more serious because I was a little bit afraid that they were going to make it super quirky and awkward and weird, even though it was religious. And they did a
Mm,
very, very good job of respecting religion,
they
even
did.
though,
And to be fair, I didn't know it was about religion until I started watching it. I'm really bad at just going in blind.
right. Well, but I was like, obviously there are very differing views on the church in the movie, and they show them, and they don't make the church out to be faultless, but
Hmm.
they don't bash Catholicism or Christianity as a principle. And I really
Hmm.
appreciated that because I was a little worried it was going to be as cheesy as the first two, but then also focused on religion. And I feel like
Yeah.
in where we're at in the world right now, I don't know if that would have sat well with me.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's fair. That's totally fair.
but
You could have just wrote something not about religion and made it my cheesy movie that I wanted. This movie was good. It was fine. I enjoyed it. It just
yeah,
wasn't what
I
I
was
wanted
like,
from a
no,
Knives
you're
Out
not
movie.
wrong. You're not wrong.
No.
But also I'm really hoping that they will keep going. But Ryan Johnson's deal with Netflix was only for the first three. And
Mm,
based on how well they've done and how sketchy Netflix has been recently, there is a very high chance that it will become a legal battle for him to get the rights back from Netflix to keep making the movies. But he and Daniel Craig are both fully in to keep going
yeah, I knew
if and when
that.
they can. So it's
Uh-huh.
gonna be a stupid production legal battle to keep going because I don't think he wants to continue with Netflix, and I don't blame him, but I don't think Netflix is gonna let it go that easily.
Do they have the rights in it? Like what did they have the rights in? Do they have the right to produce the three movies? Do they have rights to the characters? Do we know like
That's what I don't know for sure.
okay.
I don't know exactly how the contract was written. I just know that he produced the movies in conjunction with Netflix in the deal for those three. And so I don't know
Yeah,
how much of the IP belongs to Netflix.
gotcha.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I'd have to do way more digging into the contracts than I did after I watched the movie Sunday night for 10 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, I know.
um,
I feel like this is Daniel Craig's favorite role that he's ever
oh
done.
my
I don't know if
God.
that's true, but I think it is.
I can't imagine how it would not be. I can't imagine playing Benoit Blanc and ever hating it. Like that is just
Yeah.
such a fun role. It's like all of the real depth and intellectualism of like a Sherlock Holmes or a Hercule Poirot, but with like the charm of Mr. Bean. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it. I'm
Um,
excited.
yeah. On this day in February of 2005, which was not when Knives Out came out, it
No,
was
it
a
wasn't.
it was a pretty slow news day. I couldn't find anything that was not related to tragic wars that are still going on 20 years later. But there was a news article that was published that said that they have determined that 80% of illegal downloads of US TV shows were in the UK.
I mean, that's because they couldn't figure out how to get our TV.
Right.
What do you mean? Well, of course they illegally downloaded it.
As much as I'm shitting on Netflix right now, I will say in 2005, pre-streaming era, the one thing I have to give Netflix credit for, because Netflix was really the beginning of the streaming era, pirating shows was a much bigger problem.
Yeah. I will say I do not agree with pirating 100%. However, I think we need to do better at licensing because I think people need more access across and like not just American
Oh,
shows out. Like I want more
oh,
BBC shows here. I
oh
want
no,
more
100%,
like
100%.
yeah.
Licensing, international licensing is a whole
I mean, it's a
thing.
nightmare. I've done it. I
Um,
get it, but
yeah. And I will say, I also completely disagree with pirating. I did get really good at pirating in Thailand because Thailand does not have the same kind of pirating laws, but because they're
yeah.
also not really connected to the rest of the entertainment world, they don't have access. Like I could watch
Yeah.
I had Netflix and I had
Mhm.
Amazon Prime, but Netflix Thailand
Isn't the same as
isn't the
Netflix
same as
US. Yeah.
Netflix US. And so again, international licensing, I could not watch a lot of things. And I did not have ABC or Hulu. I didn't have any of the things that are like do next day broadcasts of like current TV shows. So I will admit I pirated a frick ton of Grey's Anatomy while I lived in Thailand.
Yeah.
Um, but I also knew they couldn't do anything about it in Thailand because it's not illegal there. Which is
Right.
still not fair to the people who made the show, and I understand
Right.
pirating is bad
And
because
it's still illegal here, even if you do it outside of the States if you're pirating our content. So don't tell people you do
they
that.
just can't
But
they can't track you on an IP in a country where it's not a crime in the same way.
right, right. But it is
But
still technically
it is
illegal.
still
It's
technically
just
illegal.
harder to
And
get caught.
actually I had a friend who is was born in the Philippines and moved to California. And in the Philippines, again, not no IP tracking, nothing like that. And so she moved to the US and was still watching all of her media via pirating. And then she got a letter in the mail explaining why she was going to have to stop that, or they were because they could track all of her illegal downloads to her computer in California and they were going
Because
to press charges.
it is a
And
federal crime.
it is federal crime. The letter was from the FBI. Um,
Yep. Hmm.
and she was like, I'm gonna move to Thailand now. But yeah, that was the fun way that I learned that even that's why when I moved back from Thailand, I immediately uh cleared my cookies
Went
and
legit.
cleared my
Yeah.
cookies and deleted all of the browser history that had any illegal stuff on it, and then um got rid of it because again I morally have problems with it. I was just really stressed out in Thailand because I can't speak Thai very well and I couldn't watch TV. Um and they didn't have a lot of English bookstores. So
Right, right,
it
right.
was a time. And then COVID happened and like what else was I gonna do?
What else were you supposed to do? Right.
But I knew about Anna's letter from the FBI, and so I did not want that to be me. So I did not continue
Correct.
those
Good
practices.
choice. Good life choice.
Thanks. Thanks. This episode was directed by Andy Makita. It was written by Robert C. Cooper with story editing by Damian Kindler and with excerpts from Robert C. Cooper, James Crocker, Peter DeLuise, Jonathan Glassner, Victoria James, Damian Kindler, Joseph Malozzi, Paul Mully, and Brad Wright. Editing by Stein Meerstad. So if you didn't know it was a clip show, all you'd have to do is open the writing page of
uh,
IMDb and you would know it was a clip show. Although there was only, of the 40-minute episode, only 4 minutes and 55 seconds of it were clips.
really, I mean, it didn't feel like a lot of clips,
It
so
didn't feel
it
like a
does
lot of
make
clips.
sense.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a lot of clips. It was less than 5 minutes of the whole total runtime was clips. So
That makes sense. It makes sense.
now the guest star, I know we took a long hiatus between recording for us. So you may not remember that I teased that the guest star that we were going to talk about the show was very, very famous.
I do. I couldn't remember. I thought you had teased that it was a clip show, but I do vaguely remember you saying that now. I don't know if you said it was a clip show or if I just decided what to
I
say.
did not say it was a clip show.
Okay. Okay.
I just said that there was a guest star that was very, very big deal. Um, did you recognize him?
I mean, yeah, obviously, I don't know where from because he looked like I can't remember where I thought who even thought he looked like.
Well, it's funny because Dan also was like, I definitely recognize that guy. And
But yeah,
Then when I told Dan who it was, he realized he only recognized him from interviews, not from his acting, because he is not famous for his face. Our guest star
okay,
is Dan Castellaneta.
okay.
He's known for The Simpsons, The Simpsons movie, and The Simpsons Hit and Run game. He has 4 primetime Emmys. He is the voice of Homer Simpson. And also
Oh,
like half of the characters on The Simpsons. But Dan Castellaneta
sure.
is
Yeah, yeah.
Dan Castellaneta and Nancy Cartwright, and then obviously Matt. Oh shit, Matt. What's his name? Who writes it?
Matt
Um,
Groening.
yeah, those are like the 3 people who are The Simpsons. Like, so
Yeah, yeah.
Dan Castellaneta. He does have other credits, but he's been the voice of Homer Simpson since the beginning of The Simpsons, and he has done every movie, game, everything that's Homer's voice is ever in, every attraction at Universal, every commercial. Like, so he is Homer Simpson. Um,
Okay, so I've also seen his face though, because he's in
yes,
How I Met Your Mother and Space Jam,
yes, he.
Fantastic Four,
I mean,
Castle.
okay, but like in Space Jam, he plays one guy in the crowd who gets a scene at the basketball game screaming. Like he doesn't play
Mm,
big parts. He yes, he has been in things with his face. Like it's not like he and he also does stand-up comedy. So it's not like you've never seen his
mm,
face, but
gotcha,
he's
gotcha.
never played a role that you would be like, "Oh, that's the guy from that" by looking at his face.
Right. Gotcha,
Um,
gotcha.
which
Fun fact, Matt Groening has a newer show. It's not new. It came out 5 years ago, I think, but it's in the fifth season called Disenchantment.
oh, I love
And I'm
Disenchantment.
obsessed. I'm on season 3 or 4. I'm obsessed
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
So Matt Groening fans, go watch it.
Yeah. But yeah, so Dan Castellaneta. I'm going to talk about the trivia before we get into it because the trivia is a big part
Okay.
of why I was excited to talk about this. Um, oh, I also said he's most known for that. It's most of his career. He's an incredible voice actor. He's a stand-up comedian. Also, his favorite things to talk about himself are the fact that despite being the most known for playing Homer Simpson, and despite like being the kind of voice actor who is completely like in roles, like half of Homer's dialogue is not written. Because when Dan
Interesting.
gets in the booth, he just is Homer.
Says
And
stuff, yeah.
like Matt, Dan is the only person Matt will not sit in on his recordings because he can't stop fucking laughing. And like the catchphrase of Doe in the script, it just says irritated grunt. That was all Dan Castellaneta. That really famous clip of him being like, "I am smart, SMRT smart."
Mhm.
That was just genuinely he fucked up while he was recording, and it was perfect. Like when he is Homer, he is Homer.
That's so
However,
funny.
in real life, he's a vegetarian. He does not drink any alcohol and he practices Tai Chi daily. So, like, his real life is the complete opposite
Not
of Homer.
Homer.
It's amazing. Um,
That's so funny.
but obviously, we are now on season 8 of Stargate SG-1. So, you will have noticed by now that Jack O'Neill's favorite show in the entire world is The Simpsons. He brings it up at least 5 times a season. He is obsessed with The
Yep.
Simpsons. And on The Simpsons, Patty and Selma, Marge's sisters, their favorite show is
Mhm.
MacGyver. Um, Richard Dean Anderson also loves The Simpsons, but this is the first time he met Dan Castellaneta, and he has since gone on to play himself on The Simpsons multiple times because he is now very good friends with Dan because he met him at this.
Oh,
And
that's so fun.
despite the fact that he doesn't have a lot of scenes with Joe until the end, um, the producers made sure he was there for the table read so that he could spend as much time with Dan as possible because they knew how exciting this was for him. It was like the best thing ever. The episode is very cheesy. It is not really important to the whole plot of the show. In fact, it is almost the most irrelevant episode we've ever had. There's about one line of dialogue in the entire episode that is important in future episodes. Um, but it was a way to do something fun to fill time because our next episodes of SG-1, so episodes 16 and 17, are a big two-parter, and there are only 20 episodes this season.
Mm,
So you
that's
have
right. That's
so you
right.
have 17, 18 is a big two, or 16, 17 is a big two-parter, and then the 19, 20 is the finale, like you usually do the big two at the end. So we often see a clip show when they need to like fluff up the runtime a little bit. And this was just a really, really fun one for them to do. Um, there is
It was very fun.
it was very fun. I will say the only line of dialogue that actually matters is one of the things that Jack says to Sam on the phone in the very first scene. And that is that he has a meeting with somebody from the CIA to talk about the whole Kinsey thing. That he said somebody Johnson, that character we will meet. And other than that,
Gotcha.
nothing in this episode is relevant for the rest of the show. But
I've kind of figured that,
yeah,
but it was so fun though.
hmm it was. It was a lot of fun. And it was a nice way for, especially because Jack has kind of taken that backseat and he's not as heavy in the show anymore. It was a nice way to give the other three a lighter episode.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I was surprised that it was so Jack heavy because I know he's been taking a step back, which also makes me afraid that this is one of his last episodes because it's kind of a recap of a lot of the big Jack moments.
that's a fair thought. I can neither confirm nor deny anything.
Obviously.
Obviously. So the episode opens with Brigadier General Jack O'Neill walking into his kitchen, talking on the phone with Samantha. I'm obsessed with the scene. As a Jack Sam shipper, the fact that he is like going home for the weekend and is just like chilling, talking on the phone to Sam for what reason? No idea. Talking about how he makes his eggs and like what they're gonna do over the weekend.
Yeah,
You can't tell me they're not in love.
I
Uh,
know. I know.
his but um so then he's on the phone with Sam when a man that he has never met before bursts into his kitchen with a gun, claiming that O'Neill has ruined his life. And then we get the credits. Um, which is really funny, especially, and they bring this up later, especially when you think about where this comes in the show, because
Yeah.
last week Jack came home to a stranger in his house, and so this is now 2 weeks in a row that someone has broken into his house, which we find out later in the episode they didn't really break in. Apparently, Jack does not lock his door.
Right. Because why would he?
Um, and so then post credits, the rest of the show is a flashback for the most part. Not
Mhm.
necessarily a flashback as in a clip show, but a flashback as in we
Yeah.
get the history of
The
this man.
backstory of this guy.
So it takes us to
I I'll tell you, I tried to guess. Like, I was like, how did he ruin his life? Let's figure it out. I wasn't too far off base, but I kind of was like, I thought that he had done this is before I learned about his profession or anything. I was like, this man worked with them at some point in like a one-off situation, and then they
okay.
like erased his brain, and then no one believed him when he tried to bring it back. Kind of like, um, what's his face?
Oh, the guy who is the guy from Sex and the City who made Wormhole Extreme.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
which
yeah.
I love that they
Obviously, yeah.
um but
But
so
then, so that's what I thought it was gonna be like, and that's why he was saying he ruined his life.
so
But
like
obviously,
yes and no. There was
right.
elements of that that are correct, but so we get a flashback to 7 years earlier and we meet Joe Spencer, our main character, and he is at a garage sale with his very demanding wife, and she is complaining about things, and he's saying that they should have gotten there earlier, and he's like, it is 7:30 in the morning. Like, I don't know how much earlier you wanted to be at this garage sale, ma'am. Um, and he is rummaging through the garage sale and he finds a mysterious black stone. And when he picks it up, he gets his first vision, and it is of SG-1 going through the gate when they weren't allowed to in season 1 episode where this are within the Serpent's Grass. So like which makes sense because we know the flashback is 7 years ago. So like as we go through this episode and the years change, we basically get a flashback to like one or so episodes of every season to show that we are changing the time. Um so he buys the stone, and as the episode goes, he just keeps getting more and more visions of this uh episode or of these people. And then we get a little bit more and we meet him a little bit more and we see that he is a barber. Um, but he is very bad at the kind of cliche classic barber small talk and storytelling. And this is when I turned the episode off. Because, and you're about to learn, well, you all already know what's wrong with me. Um, he's telling the story and he keeps messing up the story and he keeps messing up the story. And one of the guys who works at the shop with him looks him dead in the face and says, Boss, is it a gorilla or an ape? Because those are different species. And my flabber was gasted. Dan Did not understand why I was so enraged. I almost couldn't continue watching the episode. Because then Joe's response was, it doesn't even matter if it was a monkey. I know it's not important. I get it. But I just, for all of my DNA fan out there, if you don't know this, I need you to understand. Apes are a classification of mammals. They are not a species. And a gorilla is a kind of ape. However, a monkey is a separate classification, and a gorilla is not a monkey.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
And the easiest way to know which one is which is a little song from the television show Veggie Tales, in which Larry the Cucumber, in a Silly Songs with Larry, says, if it doesn't have a tail, it's not a monkey. Even if it has a monkey kind of shape. If it doesn't have a tail, it's not a monkey. If it doesn't have a tail, it's not a monkey, it's an ape.
Correct. Correct. I was not a VeggieTales child. I watched it some, but I didn't like
That's a
grandfather.
newer one that I didn't grow up on. I just found the
Oh well,
song.
I wouldn't know anyways.
Yeah.
But I did know that about monkeys and apes and how to classify them.
Yeah. Um, I'm sure that of all of the problems with this episode or with Stargate in general, that is the least of the scientific problems. However,
Yeah.
you can't write far-fetched science and make us believe it if you can't write correct basic knowledge science.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be fair, the older I get, the more I realize that people actually don't know that kind of information. There are a lot of people who do not know the difference between monkeys and apes. And I want to die every time. But so back to the story. Um, so because he is so bad at telling stories, he is trying to get better, and so he practices on his family. Um, he is at home at the dinner table with his wife, and he starts telling his son the story. And it happens to be the story of the rescue of, or the finding out that Skara had been turned into Chlorel and the attempted rescue of Skara, which is in season 2, I believe. Um, and his son loves it. So he goes back to work and he is telling these stories, and people are finally listening to his stories because they're actually good, entertaining stories. Um, then he gets so obsessed with these stories that he just keeps telling them and telling them. And his wife is like, hey, the stories are good. And she's like, and I love that your midlife crisis is getting in touch with your creativity.
Right.
Which, like, there are definitely worse midlife crises to have. Um,
For sure.
um, in fact, if every man's midlife crisis was getting in touch with his creativity, I don't know if we'd be at war ever.
Yeah. That would be so much better for the world, though.
That would be beautiful.
Mhm.
I almost just started singing what the world needs now, but
For sure can't steal the rights to that one.
no. VeggieTales, at least I didn't sing it, I just quoted it. So
It
um
still doesn't matter. It's still illegal because the lyricist would have a claim, but I don't think they're going to come get you. It's still
and,
a violation of copyright,
but I
but
did credit it. I didn't
it doesn't matter. Credit
really.
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Really. That's
Mhm.
very strange.
Just like
Because
authors have can't use stuff without getting it approved.
but like
They're not stealing it.
if I write an essay and I publish it and I credit the like books that I used information from for the essay, I don't have to
That's
get,
academic. That's fair use for academia.
and this podcast is not.
Oh, yeah, we are education fair use exception. My bad. I forgot about that.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Educational use is a fair use. And so that's why you can research and quote basically whatever you want and get away with it
God.
without getting approval. But some academic pieces will still get permission. Like we worked with a couple different colleges,
Well, I think like once you
specifically like
get to
out in
the
the water stuff.
I was like, once the thing is, once you get to like a certain level of publication, it's harder for the institution to publish your stuff without like, no, I mean like it's better for the institution to publish your work
Oh,
if they have that credit so they cover their asses.
yeah, but legally they don't have to
No, I know,
for
but
most stuff.
for
Yeah,
most stuff, but like some
yeah,
schools will be like, if this is going to be circulated well enough, we want to just make sure that we covered our asses on that.
yeah, for sure.
Um, he does. So his wife's like, I love that you're getting in touch with your creativity. But you keep talking about these people so much. Maybe it would be better for you if you just like wrote the stories down instead of blabbing everybody's ear off. And he was like,
Yeah,
that's a great idea. So he starts writing them down and he decides to send them to a bunch of magazines as like new science fiction stories. And every magazine rejects him.
which is
And
kind of a bummer.
And then the episode keeps going, and years have gone by, and he is still doing nothing but talking about every single of the most minute details of SG-1. Um, he also calls the US Air Force to determine if Jack O'Neill is a real person. And
Which is really smart.
it is,
Hmm.
however, the amount of sketchy that this phone call was, I have a note in my
Oh,
notes.
for sure.
I have a note in my notes specifically because Dan paused the episode and said, write that down in your notes right now. Write it down. Because he looked at me and said, that phone call should have set off 80 different red flags, and the US military should be at his barbershop right now.
Right, right. No, 100%. That should, especially because of like how much he asked and he just hung up. Like that was like they've gone off for way less.
Right. Also, yeah.
Like,
And we know that Jack works at like the most secret or part of the military ever. And yes, this president has been like a little more lax with like the opening up of what's going on in the world, but like Jack still works for a confidential part of the branch of the military. And
so
this
they should
episode,
have even referenced his name. Like when they called and asked for him
yeah.
without giving clearance, they should have even like said like, "What do you want from him?" Like,
Right. And
yeah,
this episode is post 9/11. If you think military
right,
security in 2005 wasn't
yeah.
insane, like we are
We have
still,
Homeland Security now.
yeah, like during February of 2005, we are still actively fighting in the Middle East. You
Yeah,
cannot just call the military and drop a
ask.
brigadier
Right,
general's name and then not tell them who you are.
right. Yeah,
That is problematic. But
right. 100%.
whoever answered this phone has about as much military knowledge as Daniel, apparently, and so they just let it go. Um, so eventually everyone starts to get sick of him. They stop coming to his barbershop. He is starting to lose his friends, and he's now starting to spend every single free moment of his day closing his shop early, coming home, typing up all these stories, and he is 100% convinced that everything that he is seeing is actually happening.
Mhm.
Um, At one point, his son is watching TV and Wormhole Extreme starts playing, and he starts to lose his mind that someone stole his idea because he recognizes that it is every just an SG-1 parody. But then because it gets canceled after one episode because it wasn't very good, he does not seek further
He's not worried
retribution.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so years keep going by. He keeps doing these visions. He keeps losing more and more business. And after like 6 years of this, his wife takes their kid and leaves. She's like, She's like, you don't talk to me about anything but these people. You don't pay attention to your son. You are losing your barbershop. Like you have a problem. And he was like, you're the one who told me to embrace my creativity. And she was like, embracing your creativity and becoming psychotically obsessed with fictional characters in your brain is not the same thing. And he's like, but they're not fiction. And she goes, and that's creepier.
Right, that's worse that you think they're not fiction.
Right. Um, so at this point, he gathers a bunch of evidence about the timeline of things that he saw versus things that were happening in Earth and finds pictures of Jack with Senator Kinsey and all this stuff and is like, see, I told you this is real. This is real. This is real. Um, and his wife is still like, no, like you're not okay. And all of that brings us to this moment where he has now tracked down O'Neill and is in O'Neill's kitchen being like, you've ruined my life because
Right.
these things are in my brain and I see everything you do all the time and um I can't live like this anymore.
Yeah.
And because of everything that he is able to accurately identify and know that he should have no way of knowing, they bring him to the SGC to study. Which is fair. They're not really blowing the cover if he already knows everything that's in there.
Right. Right.
So, um, and it turns out that the stone that he had was one that they found in the storage room on P3R233, which was the storage room where they found the quantum mirror that took Daniel into the alternate universe where the world blew up the Earth, and Sam was never military, and Daniel never joined the SG-1 and that whole thing, which was in season one.
Ages ago.
It was in season
Yeah.
one. I had to remember because in one of my Stargate rewatch podcasts, I'm in season one, and one of them I'm in season three,
Mm.
and so I'm like trying to remember which podcast I just talked about this episode, and it was the one that's in season one still. Um, it was our first alternate universe episode.
Ooh.
And so O'Neill, because O'Neill has the ancient um activation gene thing that we talk about all the time in Atlantis, he was able to accidentally activate this long range communication stone. Um, which the second stone, which Joe had, because it turns out Joe also has this AGT, the ancient or ATG, ancient technology or ATAG, ancient technology activation gene. Yes, the ATAG. And it connects two minds telepathically. Which of course Joe is also now excited because he can run the chair in Antarctica if they ever need somebody.
Which is like you've watched, like you've seen all of this happen in your mind. Like
Yeah,
you've seen it play out like a story. And you're like, the thing that almost killed you the most, that's the thing I'll volunteer for
right.
with my ancient genes that I have.
But they're also really confused as to how it's working because like he knows things that they did on other planets, which
Hmm.
Jack would not have had the stone with him. But it turns out that basically he's getting these flashes of Jack's life while Jack is writing his briefing reports, which is also why the stories are able to be so
All right.
easily
Yeah.
stories because he's literally basically reading all of Jack's reports.
Hmm.
Um, and um, the stone that was at the garage sale, we found out was discovered by the grandfather of the garage sale operator at an archaeology dig in Egypt. So there's no like um uh breach of anything. It didn't get stolen from
Yeah.
there. It just happened to be that this archaeologist had it and it connects to the one they found in the SG-1. So at least no one did anything untoward. Um so then Sam and Teal'c and Daniel are all trying to understand how this is working. and they come to the conclusion that this is all how it works. It is an ancient long range communication stone. He's getting his images of Jack's mission reports. But what they don't understand is that if Joe is getting all the visions of Jack's life, these stones are two-way communicators, so Jack should also be getting visions of Joe's life. And so they're like, what has been happening? This has been 7 years. You're telling me for 7 years you've been having visions of someone else's life and you just ignored it. And it turns out it's because Joe is such a normal, boring
Yes.
person that his like barbershop jokes and his dinner with his wife and his bowling leagues on Friday were like basically Jack's meditation dreams. Like they were so he was like they were relaxing and comforting. I didn't say anything about it because it was like my meditation trance basically. Like Teal'c's in Kelno Ream, I'm in Joe's head going bowling. Like um and so at this point, they now take the other stone away from Joe, so he can't continue to get these
Right.
visions and have
This intel.
this intel and this classified information. But they do want to help him piece his life back together because this is of no fault of his own that all of these things have happened.
Mhm.
So Jack goes with him to meet his wife and explains everything that happens and basically helps Joe put his life back together with his wife and his job and his business because as a
Again, it's not his fault.
again, yeah, exactly. Because he did not commit a crime. He did not do anything. He did not even like get himself involved with alien shit. He just happened to buy a cool looking rock at a garage sale and then have the next 7 years of his life
We're
be
ruined. It's
ruined.
like the 7 years of bad luck for breaking
Yes,
a mirror.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the end of the episode. And like I said, it is not related to anything to come in the future, but it is just a nice, cute, uh,
Yeah.
little interlude, some fun. There's some really funny lines in the episode. Like I said, all
Some funny
Jack's
flashback
these
jokes.
yes, all Jack's things are really funny. People people's reaction to some of the stories and how Apophis should have died 87 times
Yeah.
or not understanding the difference between Apophis and Anubis and who all these Goa'uld are.
Mhm.
Um, Also the number of times that people mispronounced Goa'uld and he got mad about it.
Mhm.
Like amazing. My favorite joke by far is the one where he asked Teal'c if his head used to be more gold.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because for some
Yeah.
reason in the first three seasons, Teal'c was painted
He
gold
was
and
like,
they
yeah, yeah.
never explained it. Um,
Right.
so like amazing. Like such good
I like the
writing.
reference to Sam and Jack not being
Oh,
together.
yes, he made a lot of references about Jack's feelings about Sam and how he couldn't say anything, and then he like tried to like make a comment about Jack being okay with Pete, and Jack was like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
And so like that was good.
But yeah.
It was
Yeah.
funny. It was cute and funny and not at all like important for the plot, but like
Right.
um
I think my favorite one was when Daniel left and he was devastated. And then he saw when he came back and he was like, and then he goes and he meets Daniel and he's like, Daniel, you are so great. I'm so glad you came back. Jonas is fine, but
Jonas
we
is
love.
fine, but we really missed you. Him
I died.
when he was just like standing in the rain screaming, crying that Daniel
Yeah.
was dead, I literally go, that was how Courtney and I reacted too, just in case anyone was
Yes.
wondering. I was like, that was literally Courtney's reaction. And then when Daniel came back and he was like jumping up and down, talking to himself in the middle of the street, like by himself, and no one knew
Hmm.
what was going on, I was like, this is the
Also me.
I love the meta. Like Stargate is so
Yeah.
good at the meta shit, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Why is Dan?
Yep, yep, yep.
Sorry, Dan told me he had to leave at 6:30. It is 7:05. He's still
Is he back
downstairs.
already? Oh, he hasn't left yet.
No, I unless his
Did
rehearsal
it
got
get
canceled.
canceled?
Unless I was gonna say, did his rehearsal get canceled and he couldn't tell me because I was recording? Maybe. I don't know. But that means he's gonna be here when my groceries get here with his food dye in
At
it. So
least
he
we're almost done and you can like tackle over the ground or something.
Perfect. I was like, just now he's not gone, so I can't bake my cake tonight.
Oh yeah.
Unless I can somehow get him to stay out of the kitchen. We'll see. Um,
Doesn't sound like Dan.
that's not, I know. Yeah, but so this is just cute. Really nice little reprieve before some big crazy stuff comes up. Because like I said, 16 and 17 are a super intense two-parter. Um,
When do we go back to 13?
um, hold on. I just had that up the other earlier because I was trying to remake our schedule and I realized I didn't remember it because it's been so long. We
Oh.
have so it's gonna get the weirdness. I just typed in Daniel instead of Death and Aliens. I was gonna type Daniel Jackson and that would have helped me. Not at all. Um, so it's gonna get a little weird for a minute.
Mhm.
So next week we will be watching um oh no, yeah. Next week we will be watching Atlantis episode 15. So that's fine. But
Mhm.
then we go into a SG-1 only period. So we have episode 13, then 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 all together.
Oh, we like finished the season.
We finish the season and then we come back and finish the Atlantis season. And it's
Okay.
because the way the story is, you really don't want to break it up. That also begs the question for us how we're doing a season wrap up and if we're doing separate season wrap ups for Stargate and Atlantis or not.
Mm,
And audience, please vote if you have opinions on this. I think it may behoove us to do separate wrap ups because then we can try to piece together what happened in that show without the back and forths. Because
yeah,
the back and
that's
forths
what I was thinking.
matter sometimes, but sometimes they don't. And so sometimes it might be easier to just be like, what the F happened in SG-1 this season
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
prepare us for the next season. Um,
Yep, I
so
agree.
so yeah, so we have some weirdness coming up, but after next week's Atlantis, we will be all SG-1 for quite a few weeks.
Oh wow.
We'll
Okay.
have one, two, three, four, five,
Six
six episodes
weeks.
and the wrap up. So we'll have 7 weeks of just SG-1.
Wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then after that, we'll have one, two, three, four, five, 6 weeks of just Atlantis.
Atlantis
Yeah.
in the wrap up.
No, including the wrap up. Six
Oh,
weeks. It's,
including the wrap up. Okay.
yeah.
There's five
Yes.
more episodes left. Oh,
There's,
right. We just had 15.
there's 4 more episodes left, actually. Oh no, I'm sorry. It'll be 7 weeks. It'll be 7 weeks because it'll be till episode 20. And then
Mm,
in order you watch Atlantis episode 1 first. So it'll be 7 weeks of SG-1 and then 7 weeks of Atlantis.
gotcha.
So
Gotcha. At least we're consistent.
it'll be consistent. It'll be 7 and 7,
Hmm.
which
Perfect.
is
Perfect.
is might be the first alcoholic beverage I have when I'm allowed to drink again. Just in case anyone was wondering where my brain is at right now. I was like, everybody's like, I want to go out for margaritas. I want a glass of wine. And I was like, I want a pound whiskey.
I never liked 7-Up, but I don't really like
Mm,
Sprite that much. Or
that's
like
fair.
7-Up. So, like,
That's fair.
that was my problem.
Yeah, you're like, the whiskey's not the problem, it's the Sprite. That's
Right.
gross.
I'm like, don't give me that Sprite. How
Um,
dare you?
yeah, no, and I'm just like, I'm in my second trimester. I haven't had a drink since Monica's wedding,
Mhm.
and I am stressed out and apathetic. And so a whiskey sounds amazing right now. Although, when we were at the last Bills game, because Dan and I went to the last home Bills game,
The last one in the stadium.
I know, I cried.
Are you getting a mat?
What?
They're selling the turf in like mats for $100.
I will talk to my husband about that one. I
Because
don't know.
that's not crazy amount.
And that's not
Like you
crazy
get like
amount.
a doormat for like $100
Um,
of the turf.
that is
Sorry.
pretty. I also have to talk to my dad about
You also can
talking.
get your seats.
Yes, I can get my
They're like
seats.
250, I think, or 500 or
Well,
something.
no, so everything that is in our box in the stadium was purchased by my dad's boss. Like
Right.
all of the furniture was already ours. Like we don't have to pay for it. It was already ours. Like
Oh, okay.
we chose the furnishings for our box.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah. Well, they're selling the seats too, like
Yeah,
of the stadium. Yeah.
I never sat in one of those
Right.
because I'm a bougie bitch.
Bougie.
Right. But in the box they have bar stools that have the Bills logo like cast in iron on them, and I want them. I want bar stools, and so I
Oh,
want to know how much my dad's boss wants for them.
do you know what stadium you're getting? Are you getting an indoor stadium next?
No. No, we're getting an open air stadium because snow games are the core of Buffalo. But it has this really weird ergonomic heat design so that the seats will be covered so that there won't be as much shoveling seats out, but the
Hmm.
field can still get snow. So we can still have snow games, but we will have a heat protector to stop the seats.
Interesting.
However, it is smaller than the current stadium,
Mm,
and the prices of the seats are way higher. And yet
that makes
somehow
sense.
they sold out all of, and they're doing PSL, so they're doing permanent licensing of the seats instead of just regular. And somehow they sold all of the licensing. Every seat is owned in that stadium
That's
already.
wild.
And we are not getting a box because the boxes are smaller and more expensive. And my dad's boss said, "Fuck that," because we'd have less tickets and pay more money.
Yeah.
So well, I will never go to a Bills game again. But
Oh, well, that's a
also,
bummer.
that's probably not true. It's a
That's
little bit
probably not
true.
true.
It's at least for the next season or two true. But also, if they hire Brandon Dable, I will never go to a Bills game again
Sure.
because of morals.
Because we hate him.
Yeah. Um, why are you... I just got a notification from Google that was like school closing updates for Tuesday, January 20th. Ma'am, that day's over.
We did that. We
We
did
did
that
that
already.
already.
Yeah.
So before we go, and we have our weirdness coming up because the schedule's going to be strange between all the shows having seasons ending similarly, but not quite the same. It's going to be very strange because all three of our shows are like, we're almost done with
Yeah.
for this season, but in very different amounts of time because,
Right.
so
2 weeks, 7 weeks, and 14 weeks.
yeah. So before we go, who do you want to punch?
Oh my gosh, the guy who kept getting his haircut that liked golf.
Oh, he was a dick.
He was the worst. Every time he was on the screen, I wanted to punch him.
And he was like, it's a really good thing you're good at cutting hair because your stories are terrible.
Yeah. Rude.
I
Rude.
mean,
I hated him.
I tell my hairdresser that it's a really good thing she's good at doing hair because she's annoying as shit, but also
Okay, but it's Monica.
it's right. Correct. That's different.
Right.
Although I do miss her very much because this is not it.
One
But
day.
yeah, in like August,
You got this.
it's fine. Because I figured out technically I could get my hair done right now. The smell of a salon, I couldn't
Hmm.
do it.
Yeah.
And I also can't bleach it. So I'd have to do something different anyway. So it's just not
Hmm.
even worth it. Because like
Just wait it
what
out.
is gonna cover this
Yeah.
wild berry Pop Tart that is on my head right
Yeah.
now? Um, I picked Joe, and it's not his fault. I understand that if I was having constant visions, I would also think that I was like coming up with the world's best book or something too. But how bad of a writer are you that you couldn't get those stories published, like even in a shitty magazine?
Yeah.
Or how bad of a writer is Jack, I guess.
Fair. Fair.
But also, if you are married or a business owner and something is taking up so much of your life that your wife leaves you and your
It
business
doesn't matter
fails,
if it's real or
it doesn't. That's when you go, you know
not.
what? I'm going to take a step back and I'm
Yeah.
going to look at my life with perspective. He, in fact, said, I'm going to take a step forward and prove that I'm right. No, this is not the time for that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Once you have reconciled and made a work life balance, then we can go back to the stories. But no,
Yeah.
today is not that day. And
Right.
so I do want to punch him for that.
Totally
Um,
fair. Totally fair.
who is your MVP?
Jack. I just want to love
Love him.
him. And also, he did work. so hard to get this man's life back in order after it was falling apart.
I forgot that you go first on Stargate, so I only wrote Jack. That's why I sighed. Not because it wasn't the correct answer, but it was because it was also my answer, and I forgot
It
to
was
come up
also
with a
the
back.
answer.
And I forgot to come up with a backup.
Uh-huh.
But I guess Sam. I mean, nobody else was really in the episode.
Yeah.
So either Sam for calling Jack out on putting beer in his eggs, or um Andy, the son, for that speech he gave about the lack of human creativity and how we all recycle ideas and how TV is falling apart because also correct.
Oh, right, 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 right.
So that's a like not big moments, just those two speeches.
Just those two. Yeah, yeah.
So
That's fair. But there wasn't
yeah.
really any other people to.
Yeah. I mean, who do I pick? The cute little guy who was the sweeper at the barber shop who asked permission to get a new
Right.
job, like at the
Yeah.
Piggly Wiggly.
I know. I might would have picked him, but for very similar, like all three are
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
as active. So
exactly. Um, yes. So again, if you have thoughts, feelings, concerns, questions, please feel free to email us at deafandaliens@gmail.com or follow us on any of the social media at Deaf and Aliens. You can follow me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
and you can find me at CE Cloud 13.
And with that, we will see you on Thursday for the penultimate episode of the first season of Penny Dreadful.
Ooh la la! How exciting!
No, bye.
Bye.